Alright, welcome back to the Super Metroid multi-category tournament. I'm Enmet, and today we're looking at Traviktox and crossproduct. And this time we are doing GT Classic. Alright, so we just saw both of these runners getting out of the Ceres station. And as always, we're going to see a pretty typical early game, pretty standard early game. Up until Red Brinstar. Alright, so first off, we're obviously getting the Morph Ball. And let's talk a little bit about these two runners. So Traviktox has a timing GT Classic of 37 minutes and 28 seconds. And crossproduct has a time of 43 minutes and 44 seconds. So there is a slight difference between their personal bests, but as always, anything can happen. So, especially GT Classic, that has a pretty scary middle section of the run. There are two fairly big tricks that you have to nail, and both of them are in low and all fair. I guess one of them is the entrance to low and all fair, but we'll get these soon enough. As far as the vetoes go, so veto, crossproduct chose to veto all bosses, any percent all bosses, and Traviktox chose to veto RBO. Alright, so bomb Chorizo. Let's get those 7 missiles in. Oh, and cross-product finishes bomb Chorizo on the left side. Bomb Chorizo obviously requires 7 missiles to be killed with, so you kind of usually you want to get 4 in, and then he does some a minor animation where he kind of just he gets stunned for a moment, and then you have to wait and get 3 more missiles in. And here we can see Traviktox killing the pirates. Cross-product is not doing that. So I think cross-product needs to find somewhere to farm now. It's pretty scary to go into Red Tower with, let's say, non-optimal health. The reason why so many of you might see the new route, people that are doing the new route, they tend to kill those pirates because you're always guaranteed a missile drop if you're at full health entering Green Brinstar. So and they're doing that because they need to they need to go up Red Tower and survive the Hellway and all that stuff with decent health up to Fentoon. It's not as vital in this category, but it is pretty nice to have some extra health in the Hellway. Oh, cross-product is dodging that missile while Traviktox gets it. So, no charge beam is picked up. That's because basically no boss fights are done except Kraid in GT Classic. So you don't need to pick up the missiles or the super missiles to manage the fight, and you don't need charge beam either. And we're actually getting charge beam later on because of the GT code. For those not familiar with the GT code, so the developers left some kind of debug code in the game where when you enter Golden Chorizo's chamber, and if you hold all the face buttons at the same time, you will gain most, I'd say most items, but it's practically all the items up until that point in our gameplay. And except for Screw Attack, which is placed right next to that room. And for some time, this was for some time this was the fastest way to do any percent till the point where the GT code was ruled a major glitch. But anyway, that's the reason why they don't need to pick up the charge beam, because they get charge beam later on from the GT code. Alright, so they got the first power bomb pack, and on their way to Kraid. And one thing to note here is, compared to, let's say, old route any percent, in that case, you would usually have somewhere around a tank, an energy tank of health. Well, in this case, they're really low on health, and you can see Traviktox actually beeping there for a moment. It makes the run a little bit scarier, although this is just Kraid, but you can still get a little bit... You see, Traviktox had to go back and kill Mini Kraid to get those supers again. So the point is that if your health is too low, you might be able to manage it, like you might be able to survive. But you'll lose a lot of time farming because you'll get health bombed by Kraid. Mini Kraid. Ooh, nice. Nice quick kill by crossproduct. It was pretty interesting to see him getting that missile in last instead of the missile first. And Traviktox also getting the quick kill. So they're getting the Varia suits because doing Norfair completely suitless would be maybe not optimal. You could perhaps do it with enough energy tanks, but it would just be faster to grab Varia anyway. Besides, you had to kill Kraid, so... Okay, here's another difference. Traviktox opts to go for the Kraid E-tank. And that will certainly make the lava dive less stressful. There are a few different ways to do the lava dive, and most notably, crossproduct just picked up high jump boots. But you can do the lava dive without high jump boots as well. And we can see Traviktox also picking up the high jump boots. Alright, and there's Cross setting up for the lava dive, farming in that room. Traviktox did not save in Bubble Mountain. Bubble Mountain is really the closest save station you can go for, and in a race it's obviously... Well, let's just say it's a good idea to save. Cross product going in. Nice. Very nice lava dive there. Cross-product saving. Good choice. Ooh. One fireball hit. Okay, there's a lot going on here, but I'll try to cover it. So, the lava dive requires a pretty sophisticated setup. And what you can do when you enter that room is to do some kind of bounce ball where you keep your momentum all the way down to the bottom. If you don't use high jump boots, you need to get hit by the fireball so you can wall jump on the spikes on the left side. Now, both of these runners chose to pick up high jump boots, so that made it significantly easier. But you don't really have a lot of you don't really have a big window there of you can't really miss too many jumps down there in the lava. Alright, really nice gate glitch by Traviktox. And Cross is already at GT now, so we can have a look at Traviktox when he's setting up for the GT code. So he will enter the room, he holds all the face buttons, and all of a sudden you can see that he has 7 E-tanks. That's basically it. And it's very important to turn off Spacer. Spacer in particular. Yeah, that's right. Well, it's very important to turn off Spacer or Plasma Beam. They can't be on the same time because the game can actually crash if you use those beams at the same time. And it just so happens that when you're activating the GT code, the game turns both of those beams on at the same time. So at this point we'll see a low and no fair that's pretty similar to, I would say, 100% in terms of movement. So you got screw attack, you got all the suits and ammunition and all that stuff. Screw attack helps a lot in the room where cross product is right now with the key hunters. Killing those key hunters reduces plenty of lag, and obviously screw attack just requires a neat spin jump right into them. Alright, nice double pirates by Traviktox. And we can see cross product entering Ridley. Ridley is really no piece of cake in this category. Well, it's not a big deal because you got plasma beam and all that stuff. Standard 20 shots. And the game just supplied you with a bunch of E-tanks as well, compared to, let's say, a standard 80% round. There we see cross-product getting grabbed. And Traviktox. Nice job to both of these runners. Alright, crossproduct is setting up for Wasteland. He's trying to get the clip, and there he gets it. Does not go for the blue ball strat. They could have taken the opportunity to use screw attack for those side hoppers. It depends a little bit on what strategy you're doing. That if you have screw attack, you can just get rid of those. They're not really in your way when you're setting up for the speedball. Also probably cuts down on some of the lag as well. Actually, Traviktox isn't really that far behind anymore. It's done a really great job catching up to crossproduct. And now they're in the same room. Right, so they got rid of Crate already, and obviously Ridley's down, so now it's time for Dragon. The neat thing about GT Classic is that the routing goes straight from Meridia to Phantoon and then just a G4. It's a little bit different than you might be used to from other categories. Oh dear, look at that. Look at that sync right there. Traviktox also probably gained a tiny bit of time by blowing up the tube earlier. Especially when you have space jump already. You can ascend pretty quickly through that room then. Alright, so now it's Meridia time and Botwoon and Dragon, and there's a lot of things going on here. Let's start out with the snake. Patterns can kind of decide who is going to be in the lead here, so let's see how this one goes. Obviously, Botwoon isn't a big deal in GT Classic because you can just microwave Botwoon. Ooh, nice full halfie from Traviktox. And he's already at Dragon. The good thing about GT Classic as well is that you have space jump, so if you don't even want to go for the halfie or the full halfie, you can just space jump across and it's not too big of a time loss. And there we have some fried shrimp. One more round for Traviktox. There we go. Destroyed. So, you might, if you haven't seen this before, you might wonder what the hell is going on. Both of these runners actually have X-ray and grapple beam, but it's not shown on the heads-up display. So what they're doing is they're using plasma beam and shooting basically through the boss. Every boss, except for Ridley and, well, Mother Brain, can be penetrated through the use of plasma beam. And it turns out if you use the X-ray, you can kind of trigger that shot multiple times to hit. And that's what we call microwaving. Alright, so they're on their way out of Naridia. And now they're going to pay Fentune a visit. Although Traviktox gained a lead here, they're really still not too far apart from each other. After all, Fentune has 3 different patterns. He can be fast, he can be, well, mid, and he can be slow, so that can really change the difference in time between these runners. Alright, there's the ghost. There's Fentune. Traviktox does not get a fast. And he does not get a mid. Oh, what if crossproduct gets a fast now? Does not get a fast. Traviktox doing a second round of Fentune. Let's see what crossproduct does here. Oh, he actually gets Fentune in the first round. And then we have Traviktox finishing off Fentune. We got a race here, ladies and gentlemen. I like this kind of stuff back and forth. I don't think this is gonna matter too much, but crossproduct's energy is a bit better than Traviktox's. Now they're on their way to G4. Some of that movement when you're coming from the wrecked ship and you're going to Criteria again, some of that movement is pretty finicky. Alright, that's G4 for cross. And there it is for Traviktox. Alright, so there's plenty of things going on in Torian besides perhaps the obvious tricks, such as the baby skip and stand-up glitch. But the Metroid rooms can make quite the difference, especially if one of them gets caught. Crossproduct is playing it... Oh, he gets grabbed. He's playing it pretty safe there. Alright, fixed it. And Traviktox getting that X-ray hit. For some reason, the developers thought it was a good idea to put X-ray on the run button. And it's especially annoying in GT Classic because you can't actually see if you have selected X-ray. Oh no, Cross! You gotta get those... gotta get those Metroids off you. Oh, that was pretty costly. Yeah, they just wouldn't... Yeah, they just wouldn't leave him alone. Alright, so Traviktox is kind of do the baby skip here. Five, 6, 7 jumps. Let's see, 8. Alright, pretty good. Traviktox did a thing there that I especially like. It's when you try to shoot as much debris as possible in that room. Because, especially with a plasma beam, you'll create a lot of lag. And it makes the general execution of the trick much easier. Cross also turned off screw attack, which made the Zeb skip a little bit easier. Oh yeah, he turned on Varia again. Yeah, so the Mother Brain's rainbow attack only checks for Variasuit. So if you turn off Variasuit, she will do 600 damage. But if you keep Variasuit on, she will do 300 damage. And depending on that, you kind of want to adjust your stand-up situation. Fortunately, crossproduct kept an eye on that. I believe it's generally easier to do the stand-up when Varia is turned off because you're given a larger window to get hit by Mother Brain again. And that's why when you see players enter Torian, specifically the Torian elevator, they will typically turn off Variasuit and screw attack, and that's what crossproduct did. But unfortunately, he didn't really have enough health to keep Variasuit off. All right, there we go. Mother Brain is dead. Let's see how crossproduct deals with phase 3. And pretty straightforward escape. I guess both of these players turned off screw attack. It's a minor difference, but it makes that pirate a bit easier to kill. Standard up spark from Traviktox. What is Cross trying to do? It's trying to do... Oh, he didn't get the blue bomber. Tries again. Yeah, Cross really going for those swag points. Alright. And Traviktox finishes with an SRL time of 38 minutes and 57 seconds. Left side spark. The left side spark is a little bit scarier than you might think. It's pretty easy to bonk pretty much anywhere. And there we go. Cross product finishes. Let's see, with an SRL time of 39 minutes and 52 seconds. So, good game to both of these runners. It was pretty close race at most times, I'd say. I guess this time it was really the Metroids that changed this race, and it goes to show how brutal they can be, and not just a category where you typically have low health entering toward, but also in pretty much any category, because just trying to get them off you can be, they can cost you a lot of time that way. It looks like we have both of these runners in here anytime soon for an interview. There we have crossproduct.
Hey. I guess that's my cue to say hey.
Hello. All right, so yeah, what do you think about your run?
It was good up until Torian. My Ridley fight wasn't too great either. I got a little nervous on the green gate glitch. But I was like, what, I saved. For a second, I thought Traffic was going to go for a bootless lava dive. And I, oh, maybe I got a chance. Nah, I almost went for a bootless lava dive, but I think in a race, I'm going to save before a bootless lava dive. And getting high jump boots is about as much time as going for a save, right? So you may as well get the high jump boots and skip the save.
Yeah, you didn't save there. That's always a little bit nervous to to witness for sure. Were you close
honestly,
to? Sorry, go on.
I'm honestly more nervous about the green gate glitch than the lava dive. Like, whenever I'm getting ready to do a randomizer, lava dive is the thing that I always grind right before a randomizer race. So I've got so much practice in it that I'm pretty confident in the high jump lava dive, at least. That I don't really feel like it's a problem anymore. But yeah, bootless would be another story. Oh well.
Yeah, I think I'll have to agree with you there. It's lava dive. It's in a sense more consistent than the green gate glitch.
Yeah.
So it's kind of scary to do, but if you just keep an eye on it, it'll be fine. But the green gate glitch can be truly random in a sense.
Yeah, the only hard part about the lava dive is not jumping too high and getting sniped by the Namahe at the top of the room. That one will get you, and it's 100 damage, which I might have had enough energy to get out and farm more health, since I did pick up an extra E-tank. I don't know. But yeah, I felt good. I thought my Meridia, other than missing full halfie, was pretty decent. Oh wait, no, I missed the Shine Spark, and yeah, I had a lot of little mistakes here and there. And I knew that it was a back and forth race. I had the restream up, so every time I made like a little 2-second mistake, I'm like, oh, there's half my lead. But I saw Travik had some issues with Fantoon, and I think chat said I was 11 seconds ahead going into statues, and then yeah, just kind of fell apart from there.
How close were you to your personal best?
I don't even know what my personal best is, to be perfectly honest. I probably was pretty close to whatever my time was during the other GT Classic race I had in this tournament. That was my personal best, I'm sure. I need to go and clean out the leaderboards a little bit, I think. This tournament has taught me nothing else. I mean, what you know? What else it taught me? It taught me that I had 3 reserve tanks after GT code. I thought it was only 2.
Right.
I can do
Yeah.
math, guys. I just didn't know. And the funny thing was, I had paused like 3 times and could have checked. Well, I guess once to turn off Varia Suit and once to turn it back on. When I was turning Varia Suit back on, I could have double checked there and be like, oh, wait a second, I have enough energy. But I didn't think about it.
Yeah, it's not really the first thing you look for.
Yeah, usually you're just looking to top yourself off if you get hit by an onion ring or something. It's not like, oh, can I make up this 250 energy I lost in Metroid Room 4? Because that happens all the time.
Right. Yeah, you got a 43 listed in the tournament spreadsheet, I believe, as your personal best. But I take it you have gotten a better time since in the tournament. Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds right. 43. I think I had a 40 something. No, I think I had like a 40 something. Like 40 minutes, some number of seconds. So with a sub 40 today, it's definitely a PB.
What was your rationale with regards to vetoing?
Just my same kind of strategy I've been doing. Just if I'm up against a better runner, the more volatile the category, the better. I haven't done a single any percent all bosses run. I guess it would have been okay, like, to do one, but I think there's not much room for error in that category, so I vetoed it. Right, so like my best chance of winning the race is that my opponent makes a mistake, so I want to maximize those chances. Since I can't rely on my skill, so I have to rely on something like that. It is a strategy.
Yeah, it's this meta game in the tournament. It's kind of interesting because you carefully need to plan out what you're going to veto, right?
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up, GG, man?
Race. Wow.
All right, Traviktox, what do you think about your run?
Decent for a marathon, for a tournament. Here and there a few mistakes, but overall I was satisfied.
GG.
You really caught up by, well, after Dragon, you could really see the difference in rooms decreasing quite a lot.
Yeah, I guess because it's of the any percent practice. Section is almost the same as in any percent.
Yeah, I guess the only difference is you have screw attack. Well, it depends if you're doing old route or new route as well. So if you're doing a new route, you wouldn't have plasma or space jump, right?
Yeah.
I guess what was your rationale for vetoing Traviktox? Like, why did you veto the category that you did?
The RBO run, so it's pretty clear for me to veto RBO.
You must have seen my RBO race a couple weeks ago.
What happened?
The one where I only died 2 times or something, I don't know. I think I died more in low ice than I did in RBO, actually.
Yeah, I promote vetoing RBO. Good choice. All right, well, it was a pretty fascinating race there. I have to say, I was on the edge of my seat by G4. And Torian really is the make or break. I mean, obviously, but goes to say, you know, it's kind of I was a bit surprised that it was the Metroids this time, though, because they can be
Yeah.
pretty scary. But usually,
I
it's
honestly, I should have probably not even gone for a grouping strat, but just blasted them because, you know, ammo is definitely not a concern in this category because you're going into Torian with 100 missiles. So even if you miss, you know, even if you get bad super drops, you always have enough regular missiles from Mother Brain.
yeah, yeah, and in GT, obviously, there's the X-ray and grapple. You can't just spam item select. And I guess many people, or perhaps most people, are not really used to using item deselect because it's not really useful outside of 100%.
Yeah, it's useful also because sometimes if you're out of super missiles or out of power bombs and you try to select cycle back to off, then you get kind of messed up. It's also useful if you want to do like the blinking icon, just to use the single ammo. I actually have item select mapped to A, so it's not that far out of the way for me. Or sorry, I have item select on X and item cancel on A.
Right. Yeah, I guess not useful would be a terrible way to describe it. But let's say that you don't really need it as much. Like you can make it by just having item select for most stuff. All right, well, is there anything you'd like to add about your run?
Yeah. Thanks for commentating. Thanks to Tracy and the organizers as well.
Yeah, thanks for commentary. Thanks for the great race, cross-product.
Yeah. That's a fun one. Might watch it back, but I was watching it while playing it, so I might not. I don't know.
All right, thank you guys for the race, and I guess that wraps it up. And obviously, thank you for watching another race of the multi-category tournament. See you next mission.